Hey everybody! Recently, Vsalt had an expert panel discussion on faster payment strategy, and we brought in experts from all around the industry, actually from around the globe, to share their experiences, to share their expertise on what it takes to create a faster payment strategy. First thing we asked is, where do you start? Then we asked if they'd share some lessons from what they've learned from implementing faster payments. Well, then we asked, do you implement one or multiple faster payments, or maybe just wait for FedNow? And then we asked, well, what to look for when it comes to accounting, reporting, and connecting to the core. What the people want, the questions that have been coming in that I've seen, and some of the questions came in before, deal with reporting, accounting, especially with faster payments and multiple payment channels, and the core. Getting to the core and the communication with the core being so important. So, I mean, there's a three-pronged question in there somewhere that I'm gonna let you guys comment on when it comes to what do I look for in reporting? What considerations are gonna need to be made for when it comes to accounting for what's, all these different payment channels, or accounting for a world where we have 24/7, 365, as it's been pointed out. And then big one, very important one, the core has got to be involved. So there's, wow. Who wants it? That's how I'm gonna do that one right there. Who wants to go first on that one? Abhishek has raised his hand first, he gets to go first, but you're all gonna answer. Be ready.
When we talk about core and other technology integration, the answer is we have to get creative. I hope this has been an open webinar, so I don't know how many people from various core providers have dialed in, but the reality is most core providers today are not ready for real-time or faster payments, is what most people would say. I'm going to say that they are. We had an interesting discussion the other day around what is the most real-time payment that's currently available, and the answer is the ATM, the debit card. If you think about the ATM, reality is that's a real-time payment. I go ahead, I insert my debit card, and I, as a consumer, am getting cash straight from the machine. And we've managed to work around and find a way to integrate to the core, and find a way to post that transaction, and find a way to make sure I have largely risk-free cash in my hand at the time that transaction completes. We can do the same with any core, regardless of faster payment channel.
Abhishek went first. Who wants to take it next? Looking at reporting, looking at accounting, looking at the core. I've got, wow. All right, Lisa, ladies first. Attila, you're gonna be coming up next.
Thank you. So I'm going to fall back on what I said. When you're evaluating your current products, you need to look at all the platforms, and if they communicate, if they don't, to get where you're at, first of all. And then when you do that, you can look at your processes as far as what accounting reports are coming out of these different channels that you're using today, because likely they will possibly apply to any new channel that you go with going forward, especially like looking at debit cards. See what you're getting from your credit card provider, and those reports, I would think they would be similar, just like Abhishek said. There are synergies. A payment is a payment, right? It's basic 101 payments. It should flow through. So if you're looking at reconciling, accounting, all that, if you have the reporting, and if they can all communicate. Now, if you look at certain technologies that you currently have for ACH or your core, and they will not communicate with another platform, then you have to figure out a way around it, or figure out your strategy going forward if you're going to continue on that same platform. So I really think you need to start and look at what you currently have. What are your limitations and your current processes? Because a lot of times that can carry forward on what you will need for new processes and new payment rails.
Wow, great answer. I love it. All right, Attila.
I would say maybe one word would cover all those three that you just read up. Modernize. your legacy payment platform can address in its current form the emerging payment needs or not, because everything happens instantaneously within milliseconds. You have to have a robust system in the background that can ingest, digest, and information in that same amount of time in a human readable format. So you have to, if you're not already modernizing, you have to think about modernizing your back office and all your infrastructure to be able to handle this constant barrage of data coming at you.
I like that, modernizing to make sure that, and I love the barrage of data, and it's coming at you quickly too. All right, Leo, what would your opinion be on this one?
Yeah, I guess I'll take the opportunity to point out that while there are a lot of similarities, I think, between real-time payments and other payment systems, there are some differences too, right? So there are some of the issues, like you mentioned, reporting and balancing has come up as well. Reconciliation was mentioned. Those are things that are vastly simplified when it's all being done in real time. Right? When you don't have things that are being held over from one clearing cycle to the next, but rather a payment is initiated and within a matter of seconds, you know if it's been executed or not. That's it, right? There is no such thing. There are no returns in most of these systems. There are simply rejects, and those happen within a matter of seconds. So as a result, you don't have files that get out of balance because there are no files, there are only messages. You don't have files that need to be reconciled with payments that have been returned. Doesn't happen, and so on. So there's some part of the processing flow that's actually vastly simpler, even if, as Attila just pointed out, okay, it's happening in real time, and that poses certain challenges. So I think it's a matter of going through that process flow and actually understanding what is the same, what is different, what's simpler, what's more complicated, and to bring it all full circle, how do you need to modernize, right? To bring through, and how do you integrate it with legacy solutions, as Abhishek was pointing out. So I actually think there have been a lot of good points made here. I think that the one thing, again, as I said, that I'd like to emphasize, it's a matter of understanding what's different, what's the same, and how do you bring all that together in a way that's more than just satisfactory, in a way that's fun.
Reconciliation is simplified and the balancing is simplified, in my opinion, but somebody's willing to pull off the boxing gloves here and saying, yeah, but. I love the yeah, but you have to determine your cash position when you're working in a 24/7, 365 environment. And a lot of these people aren't used to working over weekends. So that does change things a little bit. But we're going to end this question with somebody who loves looking at reports and just diving into all the data, especially when she's doing your risk assessments and audits. And Pam, what's your opinion on looking at, okay, how's it working with the core, but really the accounting, the balancing, and the reporting pieces of all this?
Well, I guess I'm going to serve it back too, because I don't want to lose sight of this, and maybe this answers some of the question. But at the beginning, Attila mentioned, and I took note of tools to help. And these tools to help that you mentioned, are those specific to reporting, accounting, balancing, recon?
Maybe I'll add a quick comment about that tool concept that we've been throwing around for some time now. There is a massive amount of information that's available as part of this network of professionals that work in this space. Don't be afraid to engage anyone, even if it's for a simple question, because it can lead you down the path of addressing even your question once you hear comments about it being shared by other colleagues that went through that experience. I
got to agree. It's great to learn from others. And we have had a great question that comes in too. Would you guys like to give your thoughts on a correspondent bank's role when it comes to working with RTP? Now, there's a lot that could go into that, because as a correspondence bank, I'm also wondering, does that mean maybe for funding agents, funding providers, funding managers when it comes to RTP? Or is it just maybe when you have a financial institution, a participant, as it would be called on the RTP network, that maybe is between you and your account holders, the senders and the receivers? So any thoughts in working in the area of, let's say, correspondent bank and RTP? And Lisa's already got her hand up.
Well, since a corporate is basically a correspondent bank, right, for credit unions, you hit on it. For RTP, there's a huge opportunity for being a funding agent. Additionally, even on FedNow, providing the funding and the settlement for that. Additionally, too, what Abhishek's going to demo would be the bread exchange portion of bread, which would mean that any of your customer or your bank's customers using any app can receive into your community bank's financial institution core real-time payment from any platform, because it shows up in the drop down. The institution shows up, they're part of that network and can settle real time no matter what application your bank's customer is using to receive funds. Did I answer your question, Carrie?
Yeah, and if there's more that you would like addressed on that question, just put it in the chat and we'll get it there. Again, I do want to thank all the panelists. If you need those tools of that assistance, there are people like Leo Lippis with Lippis Advisors that provide that consulting and give you that direction of what can be done. He's done it around the world. He can definitely do it here. There's Pam Rodriguez, who works with the Payment Association. I'm sure you guys have got to be thinking, what do I do as far as a risk assessment just to get ready to start implementing faster payments? She's got your solutions on that too, if you need more questions on that. Anything else that comes up, you can, like I said, get in touch with any of us here at Vsoft and we'll be glad to answer those questions. I got to say, some of the quotes of the session, the ones I really loved is, where is your focus at? You have to be in the game. Dog food that the dog won't eat. That one is just a great one there. How many of you have ever done that though? You made a product, you made a service, you invested hundreds of hours into it and nobody used it. Been there, done that. We don't want that to happen. But of course, the best one's got to be, if you're not first, you're last. Everybody got to love some Ricky Bobby, right? Now, what we're going to do now is we are going to open it up. So if there are any additional questions that you guys have got out there, you can start putting those in the chat. I don't know if we'll be able to actually open up the lines to be able to talk. But I want you to know too, if there are additional questions that come up later, you can get in contact with us here at Vsoft. We'll be glad to address those questions. And when it comes to the expert panel, this is our second expert panel of the year. We are going to have another one in the August-September timeframe. And you know that F word that Tilly used earlier, the fraud. We're thinking maybe that's a good topic, but what we really want to do is hear from you. What would be the topic you would want to have us have an open discussion with experts like the ones we have now to be able to discuss what's happening in the world of faster payments that's going to help you. Maybe it helps you in developing your strategy or just helps you in general in being able to serve your account holders' needs. You heard it from the experts. What can we do? Well, you heard it from the technology side. We can integrate with the core regardless of the faster payment channel, just like we've done in the past with ATMs and other systems. We also heard, look at your current environment, especially cross-channel and cross-platform. Look for those synergies. Remember, a payment is a payment. And if you have the reporting and all the systems can communicate, that's great. If they don't, well then either you're gonna have to find a workaround or you're gonna need to consider if that platform remains part of your future faster payment strategy. And modernize, modernize, modernize. That was a big theme throughout this particular part of the session. Reconciliation is simplified when it is done in real time. Go through your processes. What are you looking for? You're looking for what is different, what is the same, and also how do you bring it all together? We talked about tools, and one of the best tools is working with others that have already been there and done that. Then we had the bonus question, the one that came in from the audience, people just like you. and it was asking about working with a correspondent bank or maybe a banker's bank or a corporate credit union. These experts on this panel, they've been a lot of fun to work with. And well, we're going to have another expert panel coming up soon. If there's a topic you'd like to see on our next expert panel, maybe a Faster Payments expert that you think should be on the panel, well then let me know. I'm the Payments Professor, and you can reach me, Kevin@paymentsprofessor.com. And there were more views shared from other experts. And if you'd like to hear and see what the other experts had to say, or maybe see the entire webinar on the Faster Payment Strategy, then head over to paymentsprofessor.com. I'll put a link to the webinar in the description to help. For now, class dismissed.